Hey everyone, your friendly neighborhood Pants is back with another Summoner Sword video. Today I want to showcase Duamutef, or Duamutef, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, but the Fire Horus, who was buffed in the last balance patch, adding another Oblivion unit to the game. It took me a while to get him skilled up because they gave us the Omduet Hollow Heroes beforehand, so I spent all my Horus skill ups on Omduet, and I've been using skill ups ever since for him. But anyways, for a too long didn't watch for this video, I'll say he's still pretty bad, or at least there are way better options, so I don't think he's dupe worthy, unlike his other Oblivion counterparts like Tessarion and Delphoi, which you could easily build 10 of and not regret. Why is he bad, you might ask? If you read his skill 3, any siege main might instantly get googly-eyed because not only is there an Oblivion, but you can't cleanse it away with that other debuff there. His base stats are okay, and if you build him on a crit damage build, the skill 3 can actually hit pretty hard. So what's the problem? The main problem, I think, is his other two skills are basically useless, particularly the skill 2. Like, the anti-crit buff at this point in the game is like just so meh. Defenses are often dominated by monsters that don't really care about it, like Kinky, Molong, Dominic, etc. And the defense buff is negated by a defense break, which every defense has. If his skill 2 had like immunity or a cleanse or a heal, it would be a really different story. He might be an actually dupe-worthy good siege offense unit, but in his current state, I don't know, just kind of mediocre. The skill 3 also has a problem similar to like Velajuel's skill 2 in that it's his big damage skill, but it's also his setup skill. So it's like they hit hard with the skill, but the debuff the skill provides you would prefer already be on the unit. So maybe if they hit twice, so the debuff can land on the monster first and then do a second hit, that's the big damage, something like that. But despite all this, he does have some use, and we'll get into that. First, let me show you how I have him ruined. So I went Violence, of course, because like I said, skill 1 and 2 kind of meh. I want to be using that skill 3 as frequently as possible. Another thing is I would have him max skilled before you use him. It's really not worth it otherwise. Having this reusable in 4 turns is just not nearly as good as having it reusable in 3 turns. Not to mention, if it doesn't land, that sucks. So having that harmful effects rate is a big help. Also, accuracy. So you see I have him on speed, defense, HP, but I actually have a fair amount of accuracy, 62%, and then for my artifact, another almost 20, so that puts him at 81%, so 4% off max. As far as his speed, I like to aim my monsters at the 239 breakpoint as much as possible, so for this guy at a 102 base, that'd be plus 121 without any leader skill. Plus 121 gets him to 239. I have him a bit faster because I want him moving before my other units so he can set up the Oblivion and then they can kill, that kind of thing. Other than that, it's just typical support stats. You know, I have a fair amount of HP, a fair amount of defense. Left side artifact has like water reduction. It's really actually an old school bad artifact. You can see the attack proportional loss HP is 3%. I really need a farm artifact so bad. Like, I don't have bad artifacts altogether. Like, my artifact line is okay, but I still have so many old school ones that need to get replaced with better ones. But this would be like one of my higher water reduction ones, so that's why I still have it. At any rate, that's just getting off topic. Let's get into some attacks.
Alright, so I'll say out of the gate, I find it incredibly difficult to find a use for this dude. I've been going like defense to defense, 4-star towers, 5-star towers, trying to find a use out of Duamutef, whatever, that isn't something like this. It seems impossible. I mean, truly, like, this is good. Tessarion, this plus a support, like, you could do Delphoi instead of Riley. I would still say there's way better replacements for Duamutef in this same kind of setup, but double Oblivion support is just like, that's just good in general. So it's not like I've created something brand new and amazing using this kind of mediocre unit here. I mean, the defense buff is kind of nice into Savannah to prevent her defense break, but Nana can still defense break, you know, so it's not preventing too much. But yeah, this is a pretty typical defense. It's my own Nana Savannah Perna. I have it ruined all on Violent Nemesis to kind of combat the Galliantiana Poseidon Cleaves. It does pretty well. I think it had like a 35-40% win rate last season, something along those lines. But this will be a comfortable win. I've playtested maybe 8 or 9 times, haven't lost with it once. I'm sure it could, you know, like if they just go ham on my Riley or the Duamutef. Like, the thing is, it's most likely Riley because it's unlikely for the, well, is it most likely Riley? I guess it's most likely one of the fire monsters. But the Tessarion has innate protection, and then Riley just provides tons of support. Like this Riley isn't even max skilled, and you can see I'm still doing really well as far as HP goes. Yeah, it's more likely the fire units get defense broken. So this is how I lose. It would be Nana defense breaking the fire units, and Perna just going crazy on them. And particularly Tessarion, because if Duamutef dies, you can still come back and win. Just with Tessarion Riley, they can 2v3. Duamutef and Riley together, they want to be able to 2v3. That would be a bad matchup, but Tessarion Riley is just such a good combo that it can just go into anything. But that makes it more of a Tessarion Riley showcase than a Duamutef showcase. I'm butchering the pronunciation, I'm sure, but that's okay. So yeah, you can see this is kind of just an overkill type of offense, which is good. Like, you want overkill offenses. You want to minimize any chances of losing. And something like double Oblivion support with Tessarion is really good. You just keep him alive with your healing and immunity and defense buff and anti-crit. Anti-crit is actually kind of good in this case against Savannah and Perna. Sometimes Nana is even built on crit rate. So anti-crit is, doing something against this defense at least, unlike the Dominics of the world. So there's that. But finding a use for this guy, man, I've been playtesting against Coco's freaking Kinky. It smacks the shit out of me. Coco's a person in our guild, and yeah, I was like re-runing and doing all this stuff, moving artifacts with damage reduction from light and that kind of thing. Just beats the crap out of me. I cannot find a use for him in 4-star towers yet. I'll keep trying to find some more uses, but like I said, finding a use that isn't Tessarion with him and a support, that's tough. Alright, so I think I finally found something that works. At least I'm 3-0 so far now in testing. And yeah, this is basically the same offense I was trying against the Kinkies, but it wouldn't work at all. I tried Delphoy out instead of Lulu as well to have double Oblivion, and it's just like, no, it didn't want to work at all. I do kind of like the Logan pairing with Duamutef. You can see I even had like damage reduction from light. I've been using that same artifact here. I don't think this missing skill up will make a significant difference, though ideally he would be max skilled because that cooldown reduction is huge. I did try a vampire set as well, especially with the Delphoy, because Delphoy doesn't have as much support as Lulu, but with Lulu, I think he's fine on Violent. In fact, I think he's better on Violent. Here's that guy's runes, and here's Lulu's runes. No skill ups in the Lulu. This is Lulu number 4, I think. Nothing too crazy here. Here's this defense, 100 res on the Harmonia. Not quite the 239 breakpoint, but that's okay. And then finally Destroy on the Roid. He's the only Destroy set. So here we want to, of course, keep that Roid Oblivion as much as possible, because if he controls Lulu, then you have no support really, except for the skill 1 heal, which is, it's a good heal, but it's not going to be enough with Vigor defense breaking the Horus. So we'll try and keep the Oblivion on. Of course, you will miss it a lot of the time because that's life. So the good news is we can put up immunity in the meantime until we get it back. And we'll just set up our attack buff here. We could go ahead and defense break, I guess. Yeah, might as well. Because it can't get cleansed. She didn't use it anyways. He procs out, procs again. Logan sets himself up, which is nice. As opposed to someone like Yen. Yen can take a bunch of turns, kind of like Logan does, but doesn't have her own defense break. Doesn't have her own attack buff. If I had more premium runes, I have a Violent Blade set, if I could get 100 crit rate on Violent Destroy, that would be a lot better for, what's-his-face, Logan in this particular case. Let's go ahead and use the skill 3, because we'll get that push back. Nicely built that time. This should be another turn, and this should be the kill. Very nice. So it's unlikely I'll lose at this point, since Vigor is now the only threat. But we'll go ahead and play it out. And that would make, again, this defense, or this offense into this defense 4 now. And I would assume it could work just as well against the Jubel version, where it's Jubel instead of Royd. You can see he just takes so many turns and sets himself up with that defense break. It's so good. Highly recommend building Logan if you haven't already. But yeah, into the Kinky, man, it was just like, I couldn't get this to work. I was doing a Ayunu, Lulu, and Kinky with this kind of setup, except I would use Delphoy. I found Delphoy worked better than Lulu, but still, it was just brutal. Kinky's, or at least Coco, your Kinky, freaking mean. The despair, the damage, it was just stupid. It was so stupid. Alright, well there's that one. We'll try and do one more. Alright, so I figured I'd give Triple Oblivion a shot into this Tianling Dominic nonsense. I haven't playtested this. This is my first playtest, so I don't have like a win rate to tell you or anything. But I feel like just the fact that it's... What a busted ass unit. Half her HP is just gone. One hit. Like literally one more turn. Dead. That's so stupid. I guess if I were to take this more seriously, I would need to do some damage reduction from wind on everyone. And yeah, so we'll start off with the heal, and then we'll put the Oblivion on you, and we'll just go hard on you as quickly as we can. We want this thing dead. That's another thing with Logan, kind of like Tessarion. Like the skill 2 violent proc into skill 1 is just disgusting. Like that's all it took. That lucky little 22% that I got from Tessa, and now I've won. Logan in the same way. It's like if you skill 2 defense break into skill 3, you're gonna kill someone. You know, that's just, he hits hard enough that that's true. So yeah, so we're 1-0. I don't need to play it the rest of the way. There's like no chance that I lose from there. Let's see, maybe the Dominic will violent proc at the start here and get the kill. Hey? Wow. But he derped, right? He didn't do the bigger hit one, right? It looks like he did the same skill twice. He didn't do the one that does, you know, a couple more hits. So that's kind of his own fault. Should I defense buff here? I'll just do Oblivion over here. Why not? So yeah, definitely would need some heavy wind reduction and maybe even more HP on this Delphoy, because freaking Dominic. I would love a Dominic, and I'd love a Masha too. Both of them are just like insane in RTA. Dominic's of course insane on siege stuff as well. So this is now a loss because Delphoy died, and now I'm just totally screwed. Unless I get very lucky, which that's already been decided, right? I'm not gonna be very lucky. So yeah, I'd like to know y'all's thoughts on Duamutef, or Duamutef, whatever his name is. If y'all been able to like find any use out of him. I have struggled. I've tried so many different things, so many combinations of stuff. I expected him to be more of a 4-star unit into the Kinkies and stuff, because he'd have the, you know, you can't be cleansed kind of debuff. I don't know the name of that debuff, but into the Lulus and the Harmonias and Trianas that are on 4-star defenses, you'd be able to set up the Oblivion on whatever unit, and they can't get cleansed for a bit. He's hard to use, hard to make happen. But anyways, that's just my opinion on this guy. If y'all found more better use for him, then I'd love to know. That's all for this one. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.